I saw a dark gray mass move across the road in front of me. And then when I got to the church, or got closer to the church, I realized I could see 2 or 3 people standing up inside the sanctuary. And that's when I realized something bad had happened. The area where the church was lost all telephone communication. The roadway was blocked in both directions. I learned from the National Weather Service, if I had not been where I was at, that it could have been 30 minutes to an hour before the emergency services even knew there was a problem at the church. As it was, they knew in minutes. We received a radio call on our radio frequency that a storm was coming toward us. And I noticed the darker clouds moving to the north of the city. So I came down off the hill and started driving out that direction. About a half mile from the church, there's a depression in the road. And when my patrol car dropped down in that depression, I saw a dark gray mass move across the road in front of me. And that was apparently the tornado. And that's when I realized something bad had happened. I grabbed my microphone, made the call that the church had collapsed. I think it was right up, Goshen Church has collapsed. Send help, turned in here, pulled up on the grass, stopped, and bailed out and went inside the church. There was a young gentleman on his knees facing towards the direction I'd come. I saw that one of his legs was trapped under a pew, and I yelled down at him, "How many people are here?" He didn't appear to hear me. I reached down, cupped his chin, pulled his face up, then yelled in his face, "How many people are here?" And he just shook his head. It was full. It was full. Looking across the debris, I could see what I call pieces of people. I could see a shoe, a hand, some cloth that was clearly clothing. Every once in a while I could pick a face out, but everybody in the church was under the debris. Well, the first person I was able to rescue was a small boy, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. I was able to move some debris, and an adult who had been laying on top of him was able to move. I put him in, gathered him up, checked his legs and arms to see if anything was broken. I couldn't feel anything. Checked his chest and back to see if anything was broken, but also noticed that his lips were blue. Checked his head, didn't find any injuries. But as I was moving out of the church with him towards the person I knew might could help, I breathed him at least one time. I do remember breathing him one time. Got no response from that breath, but got to the person I thought could help him, got her attention and handed him off, but she was emotionally just not there. She had been through what happened in the church. She was just one of the fortunate ones that was not trapped in the rubble. It was a decision, because I realized he was not going to get the help that I knew he needed. But now what do I do? There's this very young boy, the first person I've recovered. He is clearly not going to make it, and I don't know why. Do I stay and help him, or do I go back? And I made the only decision I could. My key role and responsibility that day was to help as many as I could. And that decision is one that comes up often, and it is at times a little rough to deal with.
One of the things that maybe would be helpful to understand is what the trauma was like for the first responder, and what that is like for you. Could you talk about that, Mike?
I can. What occurred with me is peripheral to your story. I was fortunate to be in the vicinity that put me in the time and place to witness what had occurred and to initiate the mass of people that showed up at your church, and literally move that building brick by brick, block by block, board by board, things the size of this table by hand and recover everybody in that building.